Basically, everything's wild. Last time we were streaming, it was a little sketchy. Okay. All right, we gonna get started. Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barak Thumb to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar Allah Thun Bahashem Yahshua to all the sisters. All right, priest and officer Amataza, out here in Arizona. We're gonna get this class started, right? We're gonna go in a little bit on how all these other religions are more so for white supremacy, and the only place that resists white supremacy is in the ISUPK. Why do we say that? Because everywhere we go, even when we are out in the streets, right, in public, you cannot even say that black people are the greatest people in the world. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you cannot say that blacks, Hispanics need to separate from white America, right? And separate themselves mentally, because really it's a psychological warfare that's going on against our people to make them believe that they are nothing without the so-called white man, right? And what proves that is the image that you pray to, the holidays that you celebrate, the authority that, so like the people above you that feel like that our people think that have are greater, should be in charge. I'm gonna say it like that: should be in charge. Without the white man, we can't govern ourselves. It's how we think. It's how blacks and Hispanics think, right? And really, it goes to show that Jeremiah 1:3 is so heavy and it's so right. When it says, the ass knows his master and the ox his master's crib, but my people do not know, nor do they consider. My people don't know who their God is, and that's why they're celebrating Christmas. My people don't know that they are greater than these other nations, and that's why they allow themselves, and more so they protect the so-called white man, right? Because when we go in the streets, I'm gonna tell you like this, right? When we go into the streets, right, when we go into the highways and byways, right, where our people are at, right, because that's what we go for. We go for our people. We don't give a damn about the other nations. We go to save blacks and Hispanics lives, right? And in the midst of trying to breathe life into the dry bones, right? It's like our people. And just to make it clear, I don't want to say all blacks and Hispanics, do this, right? But it's like our people defend the white man, right? Defend our oppressor, rather than what we say is love, and they say is what? What do they say is pride? Hate. It's hate, right? It's hate. You're preaching hate. It's so negative what you're saying, brother. You stuck in the past. You need to learn how to forgive. You got so much hate in your heart. You can't live like that. All right, prove me wrong. Right. Pull them scriptures. All right, prove me wrong. Prove me that the Most High does not hate these nations. Prove me wrong that the Most High is gonna save the whole world. Pull them scriptures out, because as far as I see, all the scriptures that the Most High, right, that is inside this Bible, that is inside our doctrine, right, in our book, right. So like in our book, it is always always talking about how the other nations are cruel to the children of God. Right. Are cruel. And that we must separate. We must be holy, set apart. We must be holy. And we need to separate ourselves from these other nations, right? Like I don't know if brothers understand this, but we've gone through so much, man. Right? And for me, I started noticing, right, after the Philando Castile case, right, where an Asian cop murdered a brother with a license because he was cooperating. Right. It's like he was cooperating. He was showing the officer that he had a license. And this coward of a cop, right? This coward shot the brother with his child in the back seat and his woman on the side. His woman, his rib. And then the sister, the young child was so brave enough to, like, it's just like it hurts, you know what I'm saying? It hurts to see it and to know that the sister, it's like the child was just so, she was just like taking it like, I don't know how to explain it, man. It's just, she was just taking it so well, in the sense that she was calm, like she understood what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like she understood that this is always happening to our people. And when she was in the back of the car of the cop, and her mother was on handcuffs, and her mother was struggling trying to take him off, right? The sister, the young child, right? The sister was like, "No, mom, I don't want them to kill you. I'll protect you." Like, trying to comfort her mother. And her mother calmed down, right? And that's the thing, man. Like we go through all this trauma, and it's like, this is not normal. This is not right. Right? This is not the way we supposed to be living, right? Blacks, Hispanics, right, living in America live far worse than all these other nations. And our people need to see that, man. Our people need to really love themselves, really need to look deep down into the history of America and understand that America has never been there for you. Has never been there for you, nor do they give a damn about you, right? That's why it's like, when I first heard that Christ was black, I was like, damn. And then when I heard that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's chosen people, I was like, I was like, deep down, I was like tearing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's like, we look at each other, right, as disgusting. Not slacking. We look at each other like the minority, right? We look at each other. We in the world, right? We see how the other nations treat us, and they teach us that we are really nothing, right? That we are nothing. That we are we're always the villains, right? We're always cast as the villains, the bad guys, the the castaway, the people that you don't really want to be around with. Why? Because there's always trouble with these people, right? But not knowing that Christ is black, that the Most High chose you above all these other nations, will make you think like that. And really, what taught you all this, right? What made you think like this? White supremacy. And white supremacy is alive in these Christian churches. Is alive and lives. It's like it's the home. It's like the Black and Hispanic churches are the home of white supremacy, right? Because look at their idols, look at who they worship, and then think to yourself, right? Why would my people love a nation that gives no damn about them? For what? Because of who's teaching them, because of their leaders.
Right.
Their leaders don't teach them the truth. Their leaders don't teach them about the value of keeping the laws, the values of loving themselves, the value of gathering together. Black and Hispanics, unite or die. Right? That's why I thank the Most High for Commander Jerry Hanna and the generals and the captains and the officers that raised me up, and really, took their time to really change my life in the sense of starting all over, right? Teaching me the values, the precious treasures that are inside this Bible, right? Let's get a couple of them, right? First of all, let's start with 1 Corinthians 12 and 25, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 25, right? Go ahead.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 25. That there should be no schism in the body.
Right.
But that the members should have the same care one for another.
Right. We should have the same care for one for another, man. We shouldn't be divided. We shouldn't be separate, right? We should be united. Blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans should be united, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't be hating on one another. We are all one, right? But really what divides us? What divides us is when we let another nation come into our congregation. When we let Dan LaRuth into this house, what happens? We divide each other, right? We let an enemy come in and murder our brothers and sisters, right? Now we don't see each other. It's like me being a brother, just me putting myself in that situation, right? The brother that I am, I would not go back to that church. Seeing how and in the aftermath, right? When Dylan Ruth did that horrible thing to these people, right? And the church is the first instant is to forgive them, right? So like the judge was the first one to say that, right? The judge was the one that was saying, I would not allow it in my court, right? We need to, it was a horrible thing that was happened, but we need to learn how to forgive. Like, we need to learn how to forgive. And it's like we were hugging, like it's like those brothers were hugging Dylan Ruth. We're praying with Dylan Ruth, right? Offered them a seat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Gave him a place to sit down, and and made him feel comfortable. And what does this devil do? He murders you. Just shows you, man, you cannot trust a devil, man. A devil is gonna be a devil. Give me where from the womb they have gone astray, right? Give me that. I believe it's in Psalms 53 or 54. Come on, go ahead.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 58, verse 3.
Come on, 58.
The wicked are estranged from the womb.
They are what?
Estranged from the womb.
Man, you mean tell me this wicked nation? You still want to have hope for a nation that that has gave birth to this in this country through violence, that made that basically established this city in blood. That's what they did, man, with your ancestors' blood, not with their own people, right? After they were done, fighting with the British, right? Before they were, fighting with the British, right? They were united, right? And they were killing you. But all these colonies, they had one thing in common, is that they wanted to free themselves from England. And that they wanted to have their own nation. And they also had you in slavery, right? Like people try to give credit to Abraham Lincoln, thinking that he was for the slaves, right? Like look up one of Abraham's quotes, right? He said, "I do not seek to make black people equal with white people, for they are inferior to white people. I only seek the preservation of the union." He don't get you don't like in their mind, they're more so, they don't give a damn about you, right? First of all, it's still declared, right? It's still written in their constitution that we are 3/5 of a man, right? And the proof of that is just 20 what? When was George Floyd's when was George Floyd murdered?
I believe 2019.
2019?
I believe so. It might have been 2020.
It might have been 20. I want to say 2020, right? But it could have been 2019, right? Like 2020, 2019. It's gonna be 2022, and you're gonna see another George Floyd, another Tamir Rice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna see more brothers dying. And a new president does not change none of that. The lesser of two evils, the lesser of two evils, the lesser of two evils will get you nowhere. Go ahead.
So like you, well, this scripture is heavy as hell because it says the wicked are estranged from the womb. Ain't nothing that you can do to stop the devil from being the devil.
Ain't nothing. Hey, say that one time. Slocky.
Ain't nothing that you can do to stop the devil from being the devil.
Man, so heavy, man. You can never stop. Like, how you gonna trust Slocky? All right. How you gonna trust a predator?
Right.
Right? Come on, like the zebra knows, right? The zebra, the gazelle, these animals know that when the predator comes, he's coming to what? He's coming for you. but my people, they see the predator, and it's like, you know what? It's let's let's change our perspectives, right? Let's change our view of this predator, and let's see if we can come together. Go ahead.
I got a precept.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
What?
Never trust thine enemy.
One more time.
Never trust thine enemy.
Man, never trust thy enemy. Go ahead.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Go ahead. You want to break down?
I just wanted to read the next verse.
Go ahead.
This is exactly what you're talking about. Verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching. Yet take good heed and be aware. It's like and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away.
Man, go ahead. You want to break down?
So like, I just wanted to say that's so heavy because that's exactly what you're talking about. Like we think we got to change our perspective and say, well, maybe they're not so bad. But the scripture just said you got to be as though you've wiped the looking glass. Like clear your glasses. Your glasses are foggy. You think that this person, ain't so bad. But when you wipe them glasses and they're not so foggy anymore, you can see they still that same devil that they've always been. They just got more sneaky.
Yeah. No. You so on it. You on point. And if this were to be taught in every Christian church, the things, the crimes that are being committed, right, to blacks and Hispanics would not be happening, would not be allowed.
Right.
Would not be allowed. Right. They would try to have it, have it their way, because like we said, a devil is always going to be a devil. But the difference is it's not going to be allowed. There's not going to be a room. It's in their conscience, right? In their shame, right? They're going to know not to touch us. They're going to know who we are. They're going to know that you are God's chosen people. And if they dare lay a finger on you, judgment, right? Punishment, consequences will be upon them, man. Man, that's why I love that when King David says, I'll wash my feet with the blood of the wicked. Because man, how it's like one of those things you just want so bad because of what you see, and you just remember you do not. The thing is, you do not want to sleep on your people, bro. It's like it. You do not want to sleep on your people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, oh my, it's like, you know what? Let me move on. All right. Give me. Give me Romans, right? Romans 16 and 17.
Is the book of Romans, chapter 16, and verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine.
To the what?
To the doctrine.
To the doctrine, right? Because we know in Ephesians 1:1, right? There's only one doctrine. There's only one way to serve the Most High. There's only one God, right? But what do? You go to the Catholic Church and you got like different, like over 50 idols, man. You got San Judas, you got San Judas, you got and Christ, you got Virgin Mary, La Virgen Maria, La Virgen de Guadalupe. I don't know the difference, right? But I believe they're both the same, right? Actually, I think one of them's darker than the other. I think that's the only difference, right? And I believe that's what it is, right? But you got so many idols. Not only that, on top of that, you got angels, right? Ángel de la Guardia. You our people are so big on guardian angels. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, we got lucky. It was probably my guardian angel, man. It was my guardian angel. I not with. So like you just get too high. That's all. You get too high. And you just don't know. You don't know any better. That's all, right? But right, mark them which cause division. Who causes division? The Christian church causes division.
That's right.
The Christian church, the Catholic Church, your religion, your religious leaders cause division. They cause division. How? Ezekiel the 34th chapter will tell you, right? They cause division when they don't lead the God's people the right way. When they don't teach His word, but they feed themselves. Right? Keep going.
To the doctrine which ye have learned.
Which ye have what?
Learned.
Which ye have learned. You know what they learn? The other, it's like those religious leaders, right? They learn from the oppressor. But guess who we learn from? We learn from Christ.
That's right.
That's what we learn from, right? We learn from Christ under Commander General Yohanan, right? We don't learn from your oppressor. We don't learn from the white man. We don't learn, right, from them, from the other nations. But we learn from our King Yahushua. Keep going.
And avoid them.
And what?
Avoid them.
And what?
Avoid them.
Why can't we come together? Because we have to avoid them. We like, and when I mean avoid them, when it says avoid them, I mean it doesn't mean join. It's like it's not talking about, you know what, we gonna make different breakups. We're gonna have 7 churches in one block, and you know what? Let's come together and make one more time, Parag. I always forget. Unity camps. Like it. It's unity camp. It's not gonna stick with me because I really don't give a damn about them, right? But I should just, for the sake of the brother, asking the brother, you know, I should just memorize it, right? Unity camp, right? They make unity camps and, you know, come together in Clubhouse, and, you know, and the thing is like at the end of all that, they respect each other. It's like they got the truth. This one has the truth. They all have the truth. If they all have the truth, then which one's wrong when they're battling each other? Who's wrong? Right? The child molester, right? The one that wants to sleep, GMS, the one that wants to sleep with your children, or the homosexuals wearing all purple? Who has the truth? Right? They're all messed up. Why? Because they're not under Christ. They don't give a damn about Christ. But you know who they do give a damn about? Give a damn about John the Baptist. No, that's cool. They care about, you know, Judas Iscariot. That's cool. You know, and that's, you know, that's where they want to have their doctrine, right? You know why? Because they are against Christ. If they not with me, they're against me.
That's right.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Verse 18. For they that are such serve not our Lord Yahushua Mashiach.
Go ahead.
But their own belly.
But the what?
Their own belly.
Man, they only give a damn about themselves, man. They don't care. They only care about double ties. They care about triple, quadruple. They care about taking their children to college. They care about their families. But they do not care about the Lord's house. They don't care about you, man. I mean, look at Joel Osteen. He closed his doors when the storm came. And when the storm came, you know, months after, right? Time passed by, and a plumber finds the money that was gone missing from the church, like you would find in a drug house, in a drug cartel. You know, the same way you would find that money, you found it in Joel Osteen's, you know, crib out in Houston. Like, is this the man that you gon', you know, that you gonna trust him with your life? You gonna trust this wicked man with your life? You gonna trust this man that, you know, it's like, first of all, he a devil. That's the first sign that you should look at. He a devil. Second, you know, he robbing from you. Right? Now you didn't notice the first time, so you know we gonna you know, hush, you know there,
right?
Like, you know, like basically put it away, like it never happened. And that's the problem, right? With the Christian church is that they make you forget, just like how they make you forget about, your leader and what they do to you. They make you forget about slavery. They make you forget about the crimes that are being committed to your people. They make you forget about that, man. They brainwash you to love the oppressor. They brainwash our people to love the oppressor more than themselves, man. Right? Keep going.
And by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple.
Read that again, man.
And by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple.
Right. Deceive the hearts of the simple. Right? Man. If you like celebrating Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, you simple out.
Right.
You simple. Right? You simple. If you love going to church every Sunday, not knowing what you worshiping, right? Thinking that Sunday is the Sabbath, right? Thinking that Christmas is just full of joy and for the kids. It's a Christmas spirit, right? Don't they say that? Like you got to be in the Christmas spirit, right? Like you little do you know that the Grinch is trying to save your ass.
Right.
He's trying to save your ass. He's trying to throw away all them gifts. He's trying to warn you, right? And it's crazy how every bad guy, right, that they put, right, every bad guy that they put it as an image is always the good guy. It's always like Killmonger, the Grinch, right? The Transformers. What was the bad guy on there, right? Trying to separate themselves from the human race, right? Like, because they're greater than the human race, right? So, like, my point is this, right? Blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans need to separate themselves from all these other nations and their doctrine and their religion, because you are a greater race. You're a greater nation, man. You're a greater people. Greater than these other nations. I mean, come on, man. What? I gotta put it in subtitles or something? Like, what do you need? Right? You simple. You've been listening to that fat bastard that just fills his belly, right? And doesn't give a damn about you for too long, man. Why don't you get some knowledge, man? Why don't you do your own research? Right? Well, instead of being lazy, man, why don't you do your own research? Do your research. Seek out knowledge, man. Because if not, then you just gonna be left behind. The doors are gonna be shut, and it's gonna be too late for you. Just like in the days of the flood, man. People were running to the ark. They knew that storm was coming. It was not stopping. And the last thing that was in their mind is like, man, that brother was right. That brother was right. And that's the last thing that you want to feel is that guilt. It's like, what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna feel stupid in that day. You're gonna feel real stupid and just like empty. Like, damn. That's why it's better that you seek us early, man, before you get caught in that third war, in the Third World War, in nuclear war, right? Give me Proverbs 1:7.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, But fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Right? Fools despise wisdom and instructions, right? Why are you simple? Because you don't want to listen to the priest and prophet. Why are you simple? Because you rather celebrate Christmas, right? It's like you're tired of us coming to you and telling you, you know, and it's more so your family, right? Your family will be the first one to tell you, you know, we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. You know, you're always coming around, you know, with that, you know, black pride, that, you know, black mamba, you know, mamba jamba, all that nonsense, right? I don't want to hear that. You know, you like really what they want to try to tell you is what they're trying to tell you is that you messing up, you killing their high. You know, they want to feel that high from getting those gifts. They want to feel that high. They want to feel the high of you know, seeing that light just in that Christmas tree, just so bright, and you know, and cooking the it's like baking those cookies, you know, what else, you know, listening to the songs, the music, you know, all that is like the what's that smell, that pumpkin spice, so lucky, that pumpkin spice, that pumpkin pie, that eggnog, what else, that light, the, you know, the whole town, you know, illuminated with light, and it's just so, it just makes you feel so what, so full of joy, right? But if you poor, man, if you poor in America, you don't feel that same joy, man. You don't feel that, right? You know what you feel? You feel depressed. You feel depressed because what? You don't, you can't get gifts. I remember being, right, being young, being probably like 12, 9, right, years old, and just thinking like, God damn, my dad's struggling. Like all we want is gifts, right? And the spirit is all around you, 24/7, in the music, right? In the radio. It's just constant. It's just like makes your ears bleed from hearing, you know, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas. You know, the whole reindeer, you know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer songs, the whole, oh my God, man. Listening to all that and then going to school and then everybody talking about what they want for Christmas, coming back from that season and hearing the gifts that they all got. And it's just like, it makes you feel so ugh, like, man, like my parents can never do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you feel like that, you selfish. You need to teach your children something, man. Me personally, I just felt sad. That's all I felt. I felt sad. I felt, you know, horrible that we didn't get to enjoy Christmas like all these other children and their families did, right? And that really, it really humbles you, right? But at the same time, it really wants you to. It makes you feel like you need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because of the school, right? It's like constant push. The principal, the teachers, the, you know, the people in the front desk, everything, everybody wearing elf ears. You know, what's that? The Santa Claus hats. You know, the red and green. Everything. All the theme is red and green. I remember the chains. People collecting. Each class had to have a chain full of red and green. Whoever could collect cans and this and that. It's like only certain in a certain season they give a damn about the poor, but throughout summer they'll forget about you. Right. In summer, you won't see no donations. The schools aren't going to try to donate. You know, trying to push for these families to donate. They don't give a damn about you. There's only a certain season where it's like it's a spirit. It's a spirit, and everybody has to be joined in it. And that's America for you. America wants you to have that same spirit, right? If not, it's like you looked at as you're evil. You a deadbeat. You a deadbeat because you don't give your children gifts on what, like on Christmas. What if I gave my children gifts when they behaved? What about that? You ever asked that? No, because we don't have, because when you come in, you see an empty no lights at the house, and no Christmas tree, and now it's like you think that we are evil, right? We are evil, right? Because we're not waiting in line, right, at Salvation Army looking for gifts to give to our children, right? Telling us we have options, do this, do that. That's all the spirit. Like going to Salvation Army won't help your children. It would just make your children feel worse. I'm telling you this because I was a child one time, and it doesn't help because the children, it just doesn't teach the children anything. First of all, right? It doesn't teach them discipline, right? It doesn't teach them what comes with, what good rewards, how to get good rewards, right? How to get a good reward by good behavior.
Right.
It doesn't teach you that. It just teaches you that a fat white man is gonna come down the chimney and is gonna deliver gifts, and he is watching whether you're good or not. And you give all that credit to him, man. It's like I ain't trying to make it into a Christmas thing, but because of the spirit that's going on around, right? It really is gonna it makes a lot of our brothers and sisters upset and sad because they can't celebrate or have a good Christmas, right? Like like all these other nations can, right? Like all these other childrens can, right? Because I understand, man. I understood very well, and I still remember, right? It might be trauma, I don't know, but really, it's just I understood that during these years, certain things you felt a certain way because of your condition and your poverty, right? And waiting in line for a basketball, waiting in line, hoping and praying that you get the bike because it was a competition, that there's only enough bikes for not for everyone, but just for a certain few. And because you're so poor, you just thought that if you prayed hard enough, you might get that bike. That is sad. That is so sad. And America teaches you that. Not only that, but Christianity teaches you that. Go ahead, Prod.
Like I was just gonna say, like that goes back to when you was talking about not trusting your enemy, because we've put our trust in the Christian church, who trusts the white man, who trusts our oppressor, and so we blindly follow these holidays, like of course Christmas coming up. We blindly, nobody knows what that's about.
Right.
Nobody understands that that's about Nimrod and Saturnalia. Like nobody understands what Halloween is about, but they still send their children out there to take candy from strangers. Like Christianity and trusting in our enemy causes us to just get rid of the logic. It's just normal logic. You should never send your children to go get candy from strangers. Just like you should never wrap electricity around a tree. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. It just causes us to be dumb.
Yeah, man. What's that one? Choose not the way of the heathens, man. Choose not the way of the heathens, man. That's all I can say. I don't like you see your enemy doing something. What makes you think that your enemy is doing this for your benefit? Whoa. Like Thanksgiving, first of all, Thanksgiving was the declaration of how of how it was really more so a celebration of slaughtering the Native Americans, the Pequot people, right? And setting them on fire and setting them on fire and just and torturing them, man, torturing your brothers and sisters, and in torturing your brothers and sisters, they saw joy in that, and you know what? They made it a celebration. They made that a what? A feast. And now a whole nation, a whole country celebrates the murder, the oppression of our people, man. And that's the same thing with, and that's how you got to see it with all these pagan holidays, with Christmas, with New Year's. Come on, like you New Year's. What is everybody getting ready for this New Year's? What change have you brought to this world, man? Right? But actually get 7 more demons greater than the last.
Right.
That's what you've got. That's the only thing you conquered in this New Year's, is getting 7 more demons greater than the last. And with that, your oppression, so like your depression is gonna grow instantly. Cause you like, if you Black in America and you don't understand and you don't see what's being done to Blacks and Hispanics, then you a fool, man. You naive, man. You still got Proverbs? Can I read that again?
Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Right. Fools despise wisdom and instruction, right? Man, like I said, man, there's only one way to escape, right? Or one way, it's like one way to resist, white supremacy is in the ISUPK, man.
That's right.
It can only be found in the ISUPK under Commander Jerry Hunter, because in here we don't, what this is, just everything. We just resist all that, man. We separate ourselves. We made it our job to separate ourselves and to teach men to do so. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and really, if you do not strengthen your tutelage, if you don't strengthen your if you don't have your guard up, right, then your people will become servants to the white man. Your people are going to become servants to these other nations, because you, as a leader, don't have your guard up. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't teach your people this, then that's what they'll become. If you don't teach your people to stay with the Most High, to gather together, and to separate yourself from these other nations, right? From the heathens, then we will become slaves to the other nations. Give me Ezekiel real quick. I'm not trying to. It's like every single. It's like, just go ahead. It's like Ezekiel the 34th.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34, and verse.
Start 2.
Verse 2. Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God unto the shepherds, woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks?
Right. Should not the shepherd, right, feed the flocks? All right. You need to give your people the truth. Giving them the truth saves them, man. But feeding them lies only will save you. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you tell? First of all, why would they tell you lies? Right? Why would they tell you a lie? Right? Why would they lie to you about, why would Joel Osteen lie about that money being stolen? To save himself, right? It's only logic. I mean, he ain't trying to save no one else, right? He ain't trying to save. He ain't trying to help you. He's trying to help himself.
Right.
Right? He gonna lie to you to avoid conflict, to avoid conflict, and to feel like, you know what, what I'm telling them makes them feel good, right? Lying to them makes them feel good, and you know what? It makes him feel good too. Makes him feel good that he can rob you and tell you, everything's gonna be all right. You know what? Here, let me get you a pacifier, right? let me get you the pacifier, right? Let me get you the pacifier. As I'm telling you this lie, he's also killing you. He's also hurting you. He's also robbing you. And that's all these Christian churches, man. All these, all these all these religions, with the whole, with all these religions teaching the same doctrine, is that really you do not have freedom of speech. Really, you can't only love black people. You have to love everyone. And really, when they say love everyone, who do you think they're talking about? Right? Who do you think they're talking about? You think they're talking about the Polynesians?
Right.
The Samoans? No, like the Samoans don't even come up in your head. The Eskimos don't even come up. Like it's just the thought. It never. It. You never think about it, right? The Philippines. You don't even think about the Philippines, right? Unless you're talking to one of them, right? Unless you're talking to one of them, then it might be brought up. But when it's you and your people, right, having a dialogue, and you telling them that we need to separate ourselves, and they are telling you we need to come together, and they are telling you that we need to stop preaching hate, who's the hate for, really? Right? Who's the hate for? If when they say hate, who's really the hate? Even if I'll be in that podium for like 30 minutes, and all I'm talking about is separating ourselves from the other nations and how we need to come together, and I don't even have to bring up the white man. But you know what? They gonna come up to, because they know deep down, right, who we talking about, because of what's being done in America to our people. They going the shame that should be on white America is gonna be on a what? On a traitor. The shame that should be on Esau is gonna be on that brother that loves Esau, on that brother who prefers the other nations rather than his own, on that traitor, on that wicked man. He's gonna prefer these other nations rather than his own, and he's gonna feel more shame than Esau. You ever notice that? That our brother, right? A brother feels more ashamed, and really because we both black, we both black, and he with a white woman, right? We both black, he with a white woman, right? Or he with his white friends, and what I'm saying is just reaching to him, and he feels like he needs to make a demonstration that not all black people are like that.
Right.
Not all black people are like that. Let me tell you this. Like, not all black people, hate you, white man. Mr. White Man, please. Mr. White Man, let me tell you something, Mr. White Man. We don't all hate you. I don't hate you. He might hate you. Let me teach him. Let me see if I could teach him. You cannot teach a free man. You might be a slave, and you might want to teach other slaves, but a free man, you're not gonna tell a free man what to say. Not under Command Jerry Yohana, you're not. Not under Yahawashai, you're not. Salaki, it's just not gonna happen, right? You can come and say whatever the hell you want to say, vocab or whoever, right? You could go, teach, convince him that you love everyone, right? GMS, IUIC, all these other fake Israelite groups might love you, right? They might accept you. They might be friendly with you, right? Buddy, whatever, right? But in the ISUPK, man, under Commander Jerry Hanna, under Yahweh Shah, man, like, these men are soldiers, man. These men are soldiers. Give me Second Timothy 2:4. Right?
Is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 4. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
No man that warreth, right, entangle himself with the affairs of this life. Right? Go ahead.
That he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier.
Who chose him to be a soldier? All right, first of all, let me ask you this, right? Would you consider the Christian church to be a soldier of Christ? So like, I had a laugh because who would consider a man clothed in all purple, hitting all them high notes, you know what I'm saying, and just having a funny walk and a funny, just everything about him funny, right? Not funny as in the sense of a joke, but just funny in the sense of it's just off, right? You would consider that man to be a soldier of Christ? I don't know. He's not chosen by Christ to be. He's not gonna protect you. He's not gonna protect you, especially you sisters. He is not gonna protect you. That man will not protect you. He's gonna hide. Have you ever seen those videos where the men, where they do those scaring where they go around and scare the publics, right? The public, and the men, it just amazes me, right? The men hide behind the woman. Yeah. Sometimes even run and just push the woman as bait. You know what I'm saying? That's your Christian church, right? Your Christian church will protect themselves. Your religious leaders will protect themselves before they protect someone who can't even protect themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, they won't. It's not in them. It's a specific spirit that you have to have. It's a specific, you just have to. It takes a certain man to just not think about it, but react to violence, react to danger. In the midst of his people being, attacked, in the midst of, your children being attacked, you don't react. I mean, it's like you don't think about it. You just react. That's all you have. And it's a certain man that is being born to do that. And it doesn't come from a wet crying, homosexual. It doesn't come from a wet crying, every Sunday, preacher. It doesn't come from that. But it comes from a man who is diligent, who endures, a man who fights, a man who uses his voice, who lifts up his voice as a trumpet and warns his people, who loves his people, and who rather choose to deny himself for Christ's sake. Right. Deny himself for Christ's sake and pick up that burden that no Christian doesn't even consider, doesn't even think about. Right? Because they won't teach you to keep the whole law. They will teach you how to find loopholes. They will teach you how to love everyone. right? But won't teach you about Romans 9 and 13. Won't teach you about Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Won't teach you about Second Esther 6 and 54. Won't teach you about, Esau. Won't teach you about, Jacob. Won't teach you about your brother and your enemy. But they're going to teach you how, them stars are beautiful, and, your zodiac sign, man. They're going to teach you how to cook that pork, how they want it. They're going to teach you how bake them cookies for Santa Claus. They're going to teach you, they're just going to teach you how to, I'll say it one more time, how to just gain 7 more demons greater than the last. And seeking the religion of your or church religion, or of your own, right? Well, what do they call it? A spiritual search, right? And finding the Christian church, you're not gonna find nothing in there. Being in a spiritual search, or trying to look for a Christian church, it's like finding what flavor you like from an ice cream store. Instead of eating sleep for dinner, you're gonna eat, let's eat candy. Let me see which flavor I like best. Let me see what ice cream I like best. Like you man, the world just puts you to sleep with everything that they have. They put you to sleep with either sports, music, entertainment, really, more so. And the Christian church is full of that entertainment. Prove me wrong. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me that you do not go to church or choose your church based off how entertaining the choir is, the music is, or how entertaining the message that the Pope or the your preacher is giving, right? Because all they give you is entertainment, is feed you with entertainment, right? I think some churches you have to donate, like it's like I don't even know, right? But I believe, right? I believe certain churches you have to pay to get in during Christmas, right? I just remember one time, right? I'm not too sure. I don't want to say right, but I remember one time, right, going to church around this time, right, around Christmas, and it was just like, it was just, first of all, it was bright, right? It was bright because of all the candles, and the lighting was always the same. But the candles, man, every like all around, candles all around. You seen the green with the red, maybe flowers or whatnot, or roses and whatnot, all around. And then you see, like, they just made it, they pretty it up, basically. They perfume it, and they make it look nice, right? But I remember that day, and it's like the basket, the basket, right? It was just stacked. It was full, right? And they passed it like 3-4 times, maybe 6 times, right? And they go over, they get a bucket, dump it, and they try to go and send it again. You know what I'm saying? Like they as soon as they goes through the line, comes back, it's like 2 people, right? It's like one on each side, right? It goes to one side, right? Slack it, right? So there's 2 people, right, on one aisle, right? It sends the basket to one person, and he delivers it. They move it. It's just to make it smooth, right? And it's just like you don't even pay attention, and you just putting in money, and praying and hoping. As you're putting this money, you open this one thing, right? I still remember, right? You open this one thing to put your knees on, and then you pray. You pray that what? That you get the gift that you want. You get more money. That you blessed with that you get blessed with a raise. That you get that your children get blessed. You know that they are grateful for what they have and whatnot, right? Like I said, and all that is vain. All of it. Everything from the candles to the everything is all vain, and it's for self gain, right? From the entering into the church, looking at that puddle of water, it smells like sewer water, dipping your finger in it and trying to draw a cross in the front and then on your neck, and then just going to a seat, seeing where there's a seat, and just listening to a boring, just just boring. No, don't even understand what he's saying. Can't even hear what he's saying. You know, message of what Christ, how he was born, and like it, man. It was everything was all off, right? I'm just saying, like, all that is vain, right? And this, I still remember to this day, and really, that it's just like I really never questioned it, because just like another brother was said, I asked him, why do you celebrate Christmas? And it really, the only answer, right? And I could see why they said that, because it's true, right? The only reason why they celebrate Christmas is because of tradition, right? The tradition that you carry, that that is being taught in the Hispanic community, in the Black community, right? We get these traditions from our preacher. How to celebrate Christmas, the story of Jesus Christ, and what he delivered to us, right? They don't teach you nothing, man. What do you get off of that? What do you get off of giving presents and whatnot, right? Instead of teaching the children that they are a soldier, right? Teaching your little one from a young age, right? Your son, how to be a soldier of Christ, right? How to love thy father and thy mother, right? Teaching them about the laws, teaching them about the truth, right? Teaching them about their identity before it's taken from them through the schools, through religion doctrine, right? Through America, right? Through all these things, man. Your children are gonna go through so much, right? Especially for you not being there most of the time, right? For mainly because you a slave in America and you have to work double just to make ends meet and to provide, and maybe in hopes of leaving something for the younger generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, teach your children, man. Teach your children how to not trust the enemy. Teach them about who to trust, who to love, who not to love, who to show compassion to. How to what these feasts are about, what the Passover is about, who the Most High is. Teach them about the reward. Teach them about the reward. And let them know about the judgments too. Let them know about that too. Can't forget that, right? Cannot forget about that, right? We're gonna close it out with so, like, you still have You still have more on that?
Um,
And
Come,
go ahead, keep going.
verse 5. And if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully.
Yeah, if he what?
Except he, it's like, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully.
Except he strive lawfully, man. You have to. You wanna make sure what you do, right, in serving Christ, right. It's what you do in this calling, right. In your calling, you are diligent, right. You are diligent, and you are striving for perfection, right. You're striving for perfection, and you're not just you're not doing what you would normally would want to do, right? What your flesh is trying to tell is it wants you to do, right? But you're doing what the Most High wants you to do, right? Being a soldier of Christ. Well, what does a soldier have, right? Does a soldier ever make decisions for himself?
Uh-huh.
He does not. A soldier is being told what to do, right? What not to do, how to do it, how to accomplish his mission, right? You don't have a choice, man. You do not have a choice. In the world, you have so much freedom. You have so much freedom. In other religions, you have so much freedom, right? They get high before they go into that church, and they just sit down, and once that service is over, they go and eat a whole lot of food, which is really what they're waiting for. That's why they get high, right? Who knows about that, right? As I've been seeing on TikTok, going for that walk. You heard about that? Going for that walk. Oh, you guys are talking about that walk. Uncle over here saying, you know what? I'm gonna go in with that. I'm gonna go walk with you now. He's like, nah. He's like, nah. He's like, well, shit. I got some. I got some too. Children. The kids reply and be like, we don't want your Reggie. It's like, it's not no Reggie. You know, and that's how the family functions. Being nothing but potheads, being nothing but lies, lying to one another, right? Lying to one another, telling them how much you love them, right? How much you love them, how much it's just a lot of love and vain customs, man. That's all it is, right? And that just shows that you are not a soldier of Christ, right? If you a man, if you really want to live like Christ, then come into the ISUPK. We'll teach you. Keep going. Is there more? All right. You read that last part again.
Verse 5. It's like 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 5. And if a man also strive for mastery, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully.
Right. Except he strive lawfully, right? You're not gonna do what you want to do, right? What you normally would do, right? And really, what are we doing this for, right? What are we doing this for, right? Because when you are called, right, for this, right, like 2 Peter 1:10 says, right, in our calling, right, when you are called to do a job, right, which your religious leaders failed at. All right, they failed at their job. That's why we became a prey to all the beasts of the fields, like Ezekiel the 34th chapter says, and we being scattered because there was no shepherd. We were scattered. Right? Actually, give me that on second Ezekiel. It's like Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 5.
In the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34 and verse 5. And they were scattered because there is no shepherd.
Right, because there's no shepherd, right? Because there's not one head, right? Because that one body, right? That one doctrine, right? Because there's not that man teaching you about the one doctrine to keep, that one faith, that he's not teaching you about that one baptism, how to get right. He's not teaching you about the law, statutes, and commandments, right? He's not teaching you. He's not being a leader, right? He's not he's not accomplishing with his calling, right? He's not doing the thing that he was due when he was called to do this, right? When he was called to be a what? A shepherd, right? Read that again from verse 5.
And they were scattered because there is no shepherd.
Keep going.
And they became meat to all the beasts of the field.
Right. And they became meat to all the beasts of the field. Keep going.
When they were scattered.
When they were what?
Scattered.
When they were what?
Scattered.
Scattered. Right. Divided. Division. Like Romans, right? Like when we read in Romans, there was a division, right? They said divisions because of the doctrine that they teach. They said divisions because of the religions that we come under. They said divisions because of other nations that they try to join us with, right? And they teaching you, once again, white supremacy with loving that white Jesus Christ, who is really Caesar Borgia, right? Teaching you about an image that has no description. That image that you're looking at and worshiping is not the same image that is being described in Revelations, the one in 1 and 13, or in Songs of Solomon 1 and 5. Right? That image is nowhere near the image of Christ. Right? And when you hear them talk, it's like, right? Skip down to verse 5. That's like 8.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 34 and verse 8. As I live, saith the Lord God, surely because my flock became a prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd. Neither did my shepherd search for my flock.
Right. Neither did you search. Right. First of all, you're like your pastors, they're not doing a good job. I'm gonna tell you that. Right. You might defend them. Yeah, I don't give a damn. Right. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. Your preacher is not doing a good job. Right. Your preacher are not doing a good job, and they're not nor are they trying to help you, man. Keep going.
But the shepherds fed themselves.
Because they are feeding themselves, man. They're feeding themselves and forget you in the lion's den. They forget you in America, right? They teach you about building your own house and keep your fold your hands. It's okay, slumber. It's okay to sleep. Once in a while, right? Sleep on your people. Forget about what's going on. Let's just have that Christmas spirit. You know what? This is the one time in the year we can all get together and celebrate with our families and with our friends and and forget about all the problems that are happening in the world, and you know what? This is the one time America is going to be united during Christmas and New Year's. Right? Keep going.
And fed not my flock.
And they're not going to feed you, man. As they're forgetting about you, like it said in verse 5, you are gonna become meat. Meat as in like you just gonna be the target. You are a target, and because there's no leader, there's no righteous leadership, right? You are just gonna be the one that these other nations are gonna look at and just like, you know what? I don't know why you in this neighborhood. I don't know why you here, right? You need to leave. And they gonna call you all sorts of racist slurs, right? All sorts of get out of here because this is a what did that Asian say in Scottsdale?
No nigga zone.
A no nigga zone, right? With the hard R, right? Said it was a no nigga zone, and And he was so proud when he said it. And that's what these other, and that was an Asian, right? I believe it was an Asian, right? It was an Asian. And he was comfortable. He was in his own comfort zone, and you were uncomfortable. You were so uncomfortable that you had to record it, right? You were so uncomfortable that you didn't know how to reply. The only thing you could say is, "You're not gonna touch me." He didn't want to touch you. He just wanted to make you know. He just wanted to put a stamp on it and let you know that, you know what, you black and you don't belong here. And that's what they do to you every day, because your religious leaders, they do that. All your religious leaders are in the White House, and guess what? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are oppressed in the streets of America. In the streets of America, we oppressed. We're being lynched. Modern day lynching, right? Doing the chokehold, right? What these police do, right? Shooting a black man, an unarmed black man in America is modern day lynching. And you forget that. Our people forget that, right? But the men in the ISUPK, we will never forget. We will never forget the crimes that are being committed to our people, against our people, right? And you need to separate from America if you don't want to be the byproduct of white supremacy. Because really, Christianity is the byproduct of white supremacy. All these religions, Christianity, all these man-made religions, when the Bible really is not religious. Stop lying. Stop eating that lie up. The Bible is not religious. It's a book of records. Why do you think it has the generations and the father of the father of the father? It's a record of who these people are, where to find them, who the covenant was given to, who the promises was given to, who salvation was given to, right? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the father of the 12 lost tribe of the nation of Israel. Jacob having his 12 sons scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Though that's who the covenant was given to. And guess what? And all these other nations, they're going to pay for what is being done to you. They're going to pay for what is being done to my people, man. They're going to pay for what's being done to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And they're going to pay in blood. They're going to pay in blood, and it's going to be by Christ's sword, man. All these other nations are going to have to bow down to you. Just remember, when you go to sleep, just think that these nations, they're going to have to bow down to you. A black man, right? Someone who they looked at as nothing but a scum, nothing but a thug, a thief, right? Where they say in the nation that is not called my people, right? In a country where it's like, I have to get it now, right? In a place where my people are not called my people, right? Where is it? Slide. What was that? Yeah.
Hosea 1 and 10.
Con.
It's the book of Hosea, chapter 1 and verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Right.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
Ye are the what?
The sons of the living God.
Ye are not my people. There it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God, man. Right? Because right now, the way we live, we don't live like we don't live like a holy nation. Right? We don't live like Israel. We don't live like God's chosen people. Right? We live like the heathens. Right? That's why it's saying that. Right? Where it says that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. Right? Read verse 11.
Verse 11. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together.
Right? Blacks and Hispanics are going to be gathered together. Right? Go ahead.
And appoint themselves one head.
And appoint themselves what?
One head.
One head. Go ahead.
And they shall come up out of the land.
Right. Go ahead.
For great shall be the day of Jezreel.
Right. Meaning in the come out of the land. Meaning in the lands that we've been captives. Right. In the lands where we've been slaves. Right. We shall come out of these lands. Right. And great shall be the day of Jezreel. Right. Like the day where we are free from America, the day where we are no longer, slaves in America, just like how we were slaves in Egypt, the same is going to be done to America. America is going to be burnt to ashes. And blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you will be saved. And you will see. And you will that is like the taste of real victory. That is the real taste of victory, is when you see your enemies starving while you have a feast. Right? And right, to not drag it on any longer, right? But that's how you win, right? You don't win by celebrating the oppression of your people. You don't win by falling in line with their doctrine. You win when they are now following your doctrine. Because when the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn. But when the righteous are in rulership, the people rejoice. Understand this: when us blacks and Hispanics being in rulership, right, under Yahweh's king rulership, right, our kingdom is gonna be greater than any, and that's a fact, because we will have order, perfect order. Thy kingdom come, that will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Perfect order. No room for corruption, no room for wickedness. Perfect. Meaning ain't nobody gonna be robbing, no stealing, ain't nobody gonna be, raping, right? Ain't nobody gonna be raping. But guess what? The way we get our kingdom, it's not gonna be like America did. We gonna get it by the Most High's hand, right? And with that, we are the ISUPK, Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. And with that, shalom.